What's up, Burnouts? I've got another episode. I think it's episode 6, potentially
Dude,
episode.
it's episode 8.
All right, episode 8. I'm a little behind. That's why I don't do the intros.
Yeah,
But you
clearly.
know, you know the deal. You got your host here, Jordan. Got my co-host uh, right here next to me, Logan. We're breaking down a little bit of Bristol dirt today. Should probably just give a fair warning. Was Easter Sunday. Can't speak for Logan, but I'll speak for myself. Didn't get to watch the full race. Had to watch the race the next day, a good portion of it. So excuse me if I'm a little ignorant to a few parts of it, but that's neither here nor there. I know Logan, I believe before we started, said he watched the majority of it, so I'll let him take lead on.
Well, yeah, so don't get me wrong. We are recording this right now on a Monday because yesterday was Easter and we were both with our families. However, I still made it a priority to watch Bristol. I was able to watch a decent amount of it. Um, I was super excited going into Bristol. I'm a big dirt racing fan, um, which a lot of NASCAR fans go heavily against that. It's just something I like. I mean, me and Jordan only started watching it NASCAR 2 years ago, and before that, there was only one prior race at Bristol with dirt, so we've never actually seen what Bristol looks like from a short track racing track. We've only seen it and only known it as dirt, and I've loved it. I mean, I think it provides a new perspective of racing when it comes to NASCAR. I mean, I know the cars aren't fully built for dirt, but it makes it a really entertaining product, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. What's kind of your opinions on Bristol dirt?
Yeah, so I think, and I don't want to speak for, a majority of NASCAR fans out there, because I by no means know exactly what they're thinking, but the consensus that I've read is their issue with Bristol dirt is not that it's necessarily a dirt track, it's a, or that it's, yes, not that it's a dirt track, it's that they put dirt on top of a already good track in Bristol.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think, and again, not trying to speak for any NASCAR fans out there. I know how they tend to get. Uh, I think really the consensus is they wouldn't mind a dirt track if it was a dirt track, not a dirt track on top of a track that drivers fans seem to already love, if that makes sense. It's not
Yeah.
like I mean I don't know the specifics on other tracks that people might not be a fan of. I know Texas, maybe a few others. Why don't the,
I know people don't like Texas.
I could see, or potentially a fix to this would be make a different track, the dirt track. Why are we sacrificing Bristol as the dirt track? Um,
Do you
that's
have
kind
any
of
suggestions of any short tracks that you would make a dirt track?
I couldn't say at the moment. I would say actually before that is I wouldn't have any of the tracks get converted to dirt if they're already concrete or already asphalt, I should say. If the asphalt's already
Yeah,
there and it's already a
yeah.
track that is built and built out, why put dirt on that? That doesn't that does nothing good in my opinion.
I totally understand too. And I think the criticism you're bringing up is how Bristol was already a really great racetrack and then putting dirt on top of it. It's kind of a slap in the face if people already really loved Bristol. Then, oh, let's try this new thing out where we put dirt on top of it. I can see how that can be somewhat frustrating. I think something that might make sense would be, like the Coliseum, the Clash of the Coliseum, the prelim race for the season. No one really takes that seriously as is. So I think like that might be, it's a nice little short track. That might be something good to, you know, put some dirt on. But the only thing is though, is you always do the Clash at the Coliseum, before the actual season starts, before they go to Daytona. So it would just be kind of weird. Like, all right, well, here's this prelim race, and we have dirt too. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know.
too
I like
gimmicky.
it. I do like it. I just yeah, it's really hard to kind of determine where I think they need to keep dirt in NASCAR. Is Bristol the best place for it? Honestly, currently, right now, I think it is. But that's just me and my ignorance. I don't know how good of a racetrack Bristol was prior to them having dirt. You know?
Yeah, and Logan, not to correct you here, but there is a second Bristol race on the schedule. There's one lined up for the round of 16 during the playoffs, so they do go back to Bristol. So you would have seen a standard race there last year and the year before. Maybe memory just doesn't serve, or maybe you didn't catch that playoff race.
Hold on, I'm typing up.
But
Really? And
yeah,
it
so
doesn't have dirt?
no, they go back to Bristol.
Yeah.
I had to fact check you there because I could have sworn we've seen other Bristol races without the dirt.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, they'll be back there even for the playoffs. So that just shows that obviously it's a track that.
Guess it wasn't too notable of one, I guess. So what, they do a dirt race, then they go back to just having a normal race there?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
got me
So
on that. I mean, not an expert, but yeah, I
no,
guess that makes sense.
no, we don't claim to be experts by any means. When you mentioned that, I wanted to double check because we've definitely seen. If you have a second, you should look up who won Bristol
Yeah, I don't
last
even
year.
remember.
Not
Yeah,
Bristol
yeah,
Dirt.
I'll
No,
look it up.
okay. And while you're looking
Hmm.
that up, I think I just kind of wanted to touch on the actual race, kind of move away from the track here. Pretty good
Hmm.
race. I know a lot of people were saying that Bristol Dirt, uh, bunch of hate for it before the race even started, which is always unfortunate. You got to kind of go on more with an open mind. Um, but from what I saw yesterday and what I saw today, caught the replay. FS2,
Hmm.
shout out to FS2. Uh, Not a bad race. I had it on during work. Got to see a little bit of the drama between Larson and Pierce. Preece, I apologize.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting, interesting little fiasco going on there. I thought Larson drove great. Of course, Larson's a dirt guy, or not necessarily a dirt guy, but um,
Can I
just
add real quick?
yeah, who won it?
It was Chris Buescher.
Your boy.
Okay. Yep, you're totally right. I was wrong. I'm looking at it right now. Yep, they had Bristol, no dirt. That was the string of
When the
non-playoff drivers winning. Started with Bubba, or what was it, Eric Jones, Bubba, and then Chris Buescher. Remember when they started off all three
Yes.
winning? Maybe that's why it was somewhat of a forgettable race.
Yeah. If Chris
But I'm
Busher
sorry, I
is
just wanted to add that in.
no, if Chris Busher's winning a playoff race, I'm probably gonna forget about it. Truthfully, no disrespect. Didn't mean for Chris to catch that stray by any means, but
You got a stray right there.
uh, but yeah, overall, thought it was a good race. I don't know. Did you have anything to add on the whole Larson Priest drama, or did you? I know you said you were locked in for the race, so
So what I heard was that Priest said he was loose, and that's what happened when he hit Larson.
did you see
I
what
don't
happened going into
know
that?
what was it.
Uh, so it was a little bit, and keep in mind, my Stuart Haas bias, trying to keep that neutral. Um, but in the middle of the race, early to middle of the race, Larson closes off on Ryan, which basically cut him off going up on, I don't know what turn is, turn three, turn four, and just gave him no room. He did barely tap him, but he did make contact regardless.
Hmm.
Uh, Obviously, Priest didn't appreciate that. If you've seen any of his interviews or anything like that, the last couple of weeks, he's definitely been pretty vocal about guys being pretty disrespectful out there and not showing good sportsmanship. Um,
Yeah,
just kind of treating the cars like crap to keep it PG. Um, and yeah, Priest wasn't happy about it. So once he came around, they got into a little bit of like you mentioned. He claimed he got loose, but there was a
hmm,
hot mic in the middle of the race, or he was saying that he's going to get even. So I'm
yeah,
definitely I'm curious to see how NASCAR handles that because technically he didn't admit to anything. Kind of like a few weeks ago when Denny came out on his podcast and said
Yes, yes.
he,
This is all
he
very similar to Denny's situation stuff,
yes,
and it kind of puts the pressure on NASCAR as to what are you going to do. I mean, Denny went out vocally on his podcast and said, I'm
he
going to
wrecked
get
him.
even. Now he got in trouble. Now Preece just lying, we know it's a lie and saying, "Oh, I got loose and wrecked him." I don't know. Probably nothing's gonna happen out of it.
I disagree. I think he's going to get fined from it. I don't think anything major will happen. I don't think any points will be deducted, anything like that. I feel like that's a little bit too steep. But I could see a fine because they caught him in the car saying, "Yeah, if this guy comes around," or I can't remember exactly what was said, but he
Mm-hmm.
made it
Yeah.
clear there's going to be retaliation, right or wrong. So, uh,
Hmm. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
yeah, we'll have to see on that. That's probably see by the
I'm
time this
gonna go. You know what? Hot take. I'm gonna say the otherwise, and I don't think anything will come of that. Not even a fine.
better question. Do you think
Hmm.
anything should come from it?
I
I don't.
mean, yeah, I will say when you wow, we are just on total opposite ends right
Yeah.
now. No, I mean, if you have evidence of them saying, I'm gonna get even, I'm gonna crash them and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just inconsistent, is what it is when it comes to the ruling of these type of things.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to get your opinion on it. I mean, um, I feel like they handled it well. I mean, Larson can say what he wants, but clearly, he cut him off, left him no space, tapped him, definitely altered a race from him, which Priest was having a phenomenal race.
Yeah, it was.
He was not playing around. Like I said, he's a short track legend. Qualified good. For I want to say a third, maybe even more, going on half the race. He was in the top five,
Yeah.
battling it out with the best of them. So really unfortunate. Had him in my playoff locks. I was really hoping he could squeeze in there, get that win, and just not have to worry about it for the rest of the year. Uh,
You know, that it's funny you mentioned him too. I was feeling pretty good about him going into this race too. I know he qualified very well, and for whatever reason, I had a really good feeling about him too. I did not take him as one of my picks, but I did feel like he was going to do pretty good in this race, and it is what it is.
he had a chance, and that's NASCAR. You can have a fast car, you can race good all day, and all you need is just one little incident to drop you back 20 spots, and your day's done. I was hoping as well another driver that was up there for a majority of the day, Austin Dillon. Oh man, I was
Yeah.
I was really hoping he could squeeze in and steal that win because I need him in those playoffs, man. I
Dude.
got him in my
Did
final
you take
four.
him? I was gonna say you took him in your final four, dude. That
Risky,
is
risky. I
what, like
know.
what? Like I'm sure we already talked about this over in one of our first podcasts when
Yeah,
we talked about our things. But what were you thinking? Like I'm just curious. What was your thought?
I wasn't. I think I watched a Dale Earnhardt documentary, and I was just like, dude, I'm a big fan of the three. And I looked up.
Yeah,
I was like, you know what, Austin Dillon, this guy seems like a good driver. No real. It just was all emotion. There was no facts to back up that pick. It was just me. That was also my dark horse of the four, truthfully, because you can't
we
just
don't
have a.
really have a dark horse of the four.
No, no, no. I know. I just know that based on how sports work in general, you can't just pick the four favorites. There's always that one
Yeah.
guy or one team that kind of sneaks in there. So that was kind of my thought process. Like, if anyone, potentially him. And it's not looking good so far, but P3,
Well, let me ask you: Did you had Christopher Bell in the playoffs, right?
of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I
Yep.
think I actually had him, if I'm not mistaken, in my four. Well, I could be wrong.
Yep. So as of now, I have my uh, Excel sheet pulled up here. Five of the 16 I have locked in. Of course, Stenhouse and Byron are the two that I didn't have. So, uh,
Stenhouse was a gimme, though. We said that in the beginning of
oh,
the year that we said that's a gimme.
yep, okay. Actually, I take it back.
Hmm.
So, Byron's the only one I don't have at the moment. So I'm
Which
actually
I
in pretty.
Yeah.
Dang good.
I feel stupid not putting Byron knowing. I mean, when it comes to next year, when I go to make my locks, yeah, I'm gonna put him in there, and he could even possibly be someone I would put in my four.
Yeah,
He's that
yeah,
good.
yeah. It was.
There has been some back and forth about some penalties with him, and his car. Him and Alex Bowman got hit with something this week, right?
Yep, yep. It was just another something to do with the way.
Modification, right?
Yep, I think it was kind of a retaliation from NASCAR, saying, "Oh, that panel can come in and rescind the penalties. We're just going to give you
Mm,
another one." So that's kind of what it felt like, in my opinion. Of course, no real evidence to back that up, but I just wanted to
yeah,
check as well. Byron finished 13th today, so not the
13th.
worst by any means. But
Um, I'll just get the whole pick thing out of the way. I'm not going to look at my phone because I don't want to mess up my AirPods going into it. But I know I had Christopher Bell, and can you back me up too
yep,
if you
I'm
go into
gonna.
Twitter? And
Yep, yep.
yeah, so I know I threw a dart right there with Christopher Bell being he won, which feeling pretty good about that. If I'm not mistaken, I think another driver I had was Kyle Busch, who ended
Yep,
up DNF 32nd,
and
and
Bubba.
then Bubba, right? And where did he end? Wasn't he like he had 12th? 12th, not bad. Is what it is, not a top 10. And then I know my manufacturer for today was yesterday, excuse me, was Toyota. It's another dart. I mean, you literally can't do better than that. Picking the driver and the manufacturer. I mean, the better thing you can do is,
The
have
dark
your dark
horse.
horse be second, whatever. I took AJ Allmendinger. I don't know. I was just feeling it, and he got me 16th. So, really, besides my two darts with Christopher Bell and Toyota, everyone else was, kind of around the board. What about yourself?
Yeah, my picks were absolutely terrible. So I went with my locks, Bush, Larson, and Pierce.
Oof,
Uh,
oof.
Obviously Kyle
Priest.
Bush, Larson. God, dude, I don't know why. Yeah, I can't. Don't know how I'm mispronouncing
Don't
a
worry about
last
it.
name. That's like the fifth time I've done that. All good. Let me pull this back up here. Yeah, so Bush, Preece, and Larson. Oh yeah, all basically DNFs. I don't know if Pierce actually.
Priest.
Preece,
Dude.
dude,
It's a Monday. What can you
dude.
say?
No,
It's a
it's not.
Monday.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that I've said it wrong like 5 times. I'm just not going to get it right. So I'm just going to not even mention his name for the rest of this pod. Uh, but yeah, to end it, picked Chevy. Clearly didn't get
Yeah.
that correct, and then Alex Bowman, which my goodness, Bowman finished 29th. You could not
Oof.
ask. You could not have asked for a worse set of picks. But
Dude.
next week,
When I was when I was putting up my tweet about me throwing some darts, I didn't. I held off, but I was gonna put in there. Has anyone seen Big J? I think he's missing. Last time I saw him, he was trying to get a pick. I don't know. I was gonna do something like that, but I'm like, you
yeah,
know what? It's Easter. He's with his family. I'm
yeah.
with mine. I don't want to put that extra stress on him.
No,
So,
I'm glad you didn't.
uh,
I'm glad you
yeah,
didn't.
I didn't.
I
I'd say right now, it's looking pretty good with us on the picks and stuff. I think
We're
Logan might
about
have
even,
took over.
really. Well, it's a long season. I do know that next week, let me scroll up here. I don't have it at the top. Martinsville. We got Martinsville next week, so I feel a little bit better after that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely
Whoa, hold up. I have to mention this. Okay, this is crazy. This just popped up. Okay, sorry, this is breaking news. I have to mention this, dude. Jordan, you're gonna be like, what? NASCAR driver Cody Ware
Oh, I
arrested
saw
on
this.
felony assault charge in North Carolina, suspended indefinitely. Wasn't this the guy I was talking to on Twitter like 2 weeks ago? Wasn't that him?
Logan, this happened like 8 hours ago, by the way. This is not breaking as of like anytime soon, but uh
Well,
I
the
have
article that I'm looking at right now said it came out 2 hours ago.
I'm pretty sure I saw this at like 8 a.m. Either way, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess it happened like right before the race, and they pulled him, and no one knew why. They're like, yeah, so what's going on with Cody Ware?
What?
Yep,
That's crazy. I don't
he's
even know
done.
what team he races for.
He's
Where does he
done.
even race? Do you know who he races
I
for?
don't know. Come on, we're
Dude,
the
that's
next.
crazy. I don't know. I was just looking up the next race and it showed up. I'm like, what? I'm
We're
pretty sure that was the guy I was just talking to on Twitter like a couple weeks ago. I wonder what his deal is. Huh.
we're the next
Sure,
gen burnouts.
sure.
We're not the next gen experts by any means. So yeah, I don't know who Cody Ware drives for, unfortunately. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because he's cooked. He's
He's a salter, so
he
doesn't
won't
really matter.
he won't be racing in NASCAR anytime soon.
He drives for Rick Ware Racing,
That
and he's
sounds
a
right.
Ford. So, I mean, he's a
That's
nobody,
that says all you need to know.
and he got astray. Back to that. I'm sorry about that. Yep. So
Nope, all good.
Martinsville, pretty stoked. Hope to spend a little bit more time watching this. We've had a couple busy weeks these past 2 weeks and stuff, and this next Sunday, I plan on like what we did, waking up. I think F1's next weekend, right?
It is not actually, so good
No, is
segue.
it a three
So
week?
uh, if I'm not mistaken, F1 won't be on next week. It's either because I believe next week would have been the China GP, but the reason is
Oh,
is China still has major COVID restrictions, so I believe NASCAR, or not NASCAR, dude, F1 just completely just nixed it from their schedule.
yep,
So
yep.
it literally is like a summer break. There wasn't a race this week. There won't be one next week. Then there's a 2 week layoff for the next race, which what is the
hmm
one in 4 weeks or three
The
weeks?
next one is on April 30th, and I can't even pronounce that.
Awesome.
Azerbaijan
Awesome.
GP. Yeah, it's in the Baku City circuit. I don't know, but wow, no, I totally missed it. Then following that is the Miami one,
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
I mean that's everyone's favorite. So yo, just going back to NASCAR real quick. I know this is a little bit of a shorter podcast, but wanted to mention I'm just going off kind of like, who placed where and stuff. Ty Gibbs, bro,
What do you get?
number 10 again. So he's been what, consistently getting 9, then he got 10. I mean, regardless, in the top 10, he's doing good. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't take either of them, so it doesn't matter. But I know you took Gregson instead of Gibbs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was
Unfortunately,
thinking about this while I was driving today. He is, he's having a great, I mean, this is his rookie year in Cup and stuff, but, he's doing excellent. What's up with Denny Hamlin? He has not been doing good at all. And if you look at it, Ty Gibbs is doing significantly better than him.
where do you have the current standings pulled
hmm
up? Where's
Yeah, I do actually.
okay? Where's Denny
Um,
at compared to?
Ironically, as I'm saying this too, Denny is 12 and Ty Gibbs is 18. It just
Oh
doesn't feel
man.
that way though.
Okay.
It doesn't feel that way.
Right.
Points,
Right.
yep. Denny has 203 and Ty Gibbs has 174. So I'm sure you know what that means is Denny Hamlin probably just had a few of those placements that were, Ty Gibbs has been consistently getting about ninth, 10th, or whatever. I'm sure Denny had a couple, thirds or fourths or
Yep.
seconds
Yep.
thrown
Yeah.
in there. But I don't think Denny really, big fan of Denny too, but I don't think he's having that great of a season thus
Why?
far.
Well, I mean, then again, it's Denny is just he's on his own. You know what I mean? He's on his own stratosphere compared to Gibbs. It's night and day. So that makes
Oh,
total
yeah,
sense.
as he should be.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at any other shockers. Tyler Reddick, P2. That's nice. Stenhouse, P4. Wow. Your boy Briscoe didn't do half bad either with the
Yep.
P5. That was off, what, a broken finger, too?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I didn't hear too much about that before the race, and I literally
Mm-hmm.
just randomly heard them mention it. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I'm not sure how that got swept under the rug, but I could be wrong as well. Pretty sure he's going to need surgery on that finger. Don't know if it's going to knock him out, I wouldn't assume so if he was racing today, but not ideal by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But yeah, Briscoe had a great race. That was awesome. Harvick too. He was very, very, very behind. He was at one point,
Mm-hmm.
because kind of how it worked for me yesterday is I watched like the first 30-ish laps. Then I had to go to
Mm-hmm.
my grandparents. Then I went over to my girlfriend's house immediately after. But when I left, Harvick was a lap down, if I'm not mistaken. He was in the 30s.
Yeah.
So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
he crawled his way all the way back up to, what is it, ninth, I just saw? Uh,
Yeah, I don't think
awesome.
he started off too good either in qualifying. I know he was in the back 15, so
Yeah.
yeah, no, he didn't do good. That Todd Gillen, he's been doing pretty good recently. His past two races, he's been doing half decent.
Yeah.
Truex with a P7.
I'm not worried about
Yeah,
Todd
looking.
Gilliland at all.
Let's
He,
just see where he is in
yeah,
points. Just
I would love to know where Todd Gilliland is at in points. He's
you know, we're saying it, but
it's like
I can't
26th.
even. Oh, right there. He is 23. He's
Wow,
above Bubba, Allmendinger, Ryan Preece, Eric
shocker.
Amarola, Gragson.
Wait, he's above Bubba? Okay, and everyone's above Bubba. Come on now. Hey,
where'd
Bubba
that
had.
one come from?
Hey, every driver's catching a stray, and Bubba just caught his. So if you panned your
Messed up, bro.
if you panned your camera over, everyone could see your Bubba flag. But
Yeah, he's coming back, dude.
yeah,
This is
we'll
the
see
make or
about that.
break year for him. That's what I said. I think our first podcast I mentioned. I said this needs to be it, and he didn't do too good in front of Michael Jordan
Yeah,
last week.
that was brutal. And the
Michael
23.
Jordan came there to check in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick passed, but Bubba, on the other hand, was just
Oh, not
sheesh,
good.
sheesh.
Well, so we got what? Two Toyotas. Looks like four Chevys and one Ford in the playoffs right now. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Well,
I'm trying
did
to
you
see.
have anything else to mention in this podcast at all?
I don't think so. I was definitely wish I would have been able to watch more of the race live. Watching it back
Yeah.
the next day. Honestly, though, it's I would rather watch a NASCAR race the day after, even though I already know the results, than like a football or a basketball game. Only because,
All right.
like, when I know like the ending score of like a Celtics game, I don't really care if I watch the game the next day. Like if I missed it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like this one, I was kind of actually like, okay, like I want to see what happened, like,
Yeah.
and I knew I didn't have to sit down and watch it like intently the entire time, but I had it on
Mm-hmm.
background. You know what I mean? I could look up, do my thing, look over. It was nice. So shout out again to FS2, but no, I personally have nothing else to add. Excited for next week. We can get a full.
Any
Uh,
updates with our channel at all? I know we talked about doing that giveaway, and that's not happened yet.
it's been all
We
talk.
are working out a few kinks. We're trying to determine what's the best way to give this away, but keep an eye out. I'm not putting any date on it, but that giveaway is coming up
Do you want?
soon.
Do you want to announce what the giveaway item is? Because I think you had that locked in. I heard you mention it. I don't know if we
All
want to
right.
say that yet.
Yep. Yeah. Sec. All right. So, wow, getting up on a podcast, but the giveaway item is a Tony Stewart, Joe Gibbs Racing hat, snapback. It's got the number, everything like that. So
Great
yeah,
condition
once
as
we get
well.
that going, great, excellent condition.
That hat,
Couldn't be any better.
the video quality does not do it justice. It's a great hat. So we're thinking to enter. Of course, not confirmed by any means. Just give us a 5 star on Apple Podcast. Shoot us a follow,
Subscribe.
maybe a subscribe on YouTube. We don't have too much things to do. You don't want to jump through too much hoops for a hat. I'm thinking like we just cut it to a couple. Um,
Well, then the
But
next giveaway that you give away something, then we could try to incorporate something else, like your Twitter or something like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I
when
give
you
away,
give away something.
yeah, next season, start of the season when I do a, giveaway, we'll be good to go. Uh, but yeah,
Well,
I think that's
that's
it.
all I got to mention. Yep.
Yep, sign us out.
All right, Burnouts. Well, that was an excellent episode number 8, and we will be back next week for Martinsville. Happy Monday, and we'll see you soon.
And
Bye.
happy Easter, burnouts.
Late Easter, yeah.